Imagine earning $100,000, yet checking your bank account and still feeling completely broke. And the strangest part is, $100,000 still sounds incredibly rich to almost everyone listening. But today we're going to uncover why a big salary can disappear surprisingly fast. Because earning more money and actually becoming wealthier are two completely different financial games. And once you understand the difference, your entire relationship with money can start changing. Let's meet Mike, a 35-year-old professional earning exactly $100,000 every year. On paper, Mike looks successful, especially when friends compare his income with their own. He has the salary, the apartment, the car, and apparently everything he ever wanted. Then payday arrives, and within days, most of that money already has somewhere else to go. That's when the first uncomfortable question appears. Where did all the money go? The answer starts with something most people completely underestimate: taxes and deductions. A $100,000 salary is your gross income, not the amount hitting your checking account. Federal income taxes take a portion, while payroll taxes and other deductions can reduce your cash further. And your actual take-home pay depends heavily on your filing situation and workplace benefits. That's why two people earning the same salary can experience completely different financial lives. And now we reach the part that quietly destroys many high-income budgets: lifestyle inflation. When Mike earned $50,000, a modest apartment felt perfectly acceptable. After reaching $100,000, suddenly that same apartment feels embarrassingly small. So he upgrades the apartment, upgrades the car, and quietly upgrades almost everything around him. His income doubled, but his lifestyle expanded almost as quickly as his paycheck. And this is where earning more can become strangely disappointing instead of financially liberating. Because every raise creates a decision: save the difference or immediately spend the difference. Most people don't notice the decision because spending more initially feels completely harmless. One nicer dinner doesn't destroy your finances, and neither does one expensive vacation. The danger appears when every temporary upgrade becomes your new permanent monthly expense. A larger apartment means larger rent, utilities, furniture, insurance, and often a longer commute. A nicer car doesn't only cost the payment, it also changes insurance, fuel, maintenance, and depreciation. And suddenly, the raise that looked like freedom starts feeling like another obligation. This is why lifestyle inflation can be more dangerous than simply earning too little. Because low income limits what you can buy, while lifestyle inflation limits what you can keep. Now let's look at the biggest expense quietly consuming American household budgets: housing. Your home doesn't just determine your rent or mortgage. It can reshape your entire monthly budget. Choose a home based only on what the bank approves, and you may create financial pressure. Because approval tells you what you can borrow, not what will make your life comfortable. Then there is transportation, another category where lifestyle upgrades can quietly become financial anchors. Americans often think about the monthly car payment instead of the total cost. That difference matters because recurring costs quietly consume the money you could otherwise invest. And investing is where the story becomes completely different. Because money you spend disappears, while money invested has the potential to grow over time. That doesn't mean investing guarantees profits. Markets can fall, sometimes dramatically, and losses are real. But over long periods, disciplined investing can turn consistent contributions into meaningful wealth. And this creates another uncomfortable truth: income alone doesn't determine your financial future. Your savings rate, spending habits, debt, taxes, and investment decisions matter too. Think about two people both earning $100,000. Person A spends $90,000 and invests $10,000 every year. Person B spends $70,000 and invests $30,000 every year instead. Same income, completely different financial trajectories. And after several years, that difference can become enormous because invested money can compound. Compounding simply means your money can generate returns, and those returns can potentially generate more returns. The earlier you start, the more time your money potentially has to work. So the real enemy isn't always a low salary. Sometimes it's an expensive lifestyle. And expensive lifestyles are especially dangerous because they become emotionally difficult to downgrade. Once you get used to convenience, going backward can feel like failure. That psychological trap keeps people working harder just to maintain yesterday's upgrades. And that's when a six-figure salary can become a six-figure treadmill. Now consider subscriptions, another category that feels tiny until dozens of them quietly accumulate. $5 here, $30 there, and suddenly your monthly cash flow has invisible leaks. The same thing happens with delivery fees, convenience purchases, impulse shopping, and frequent upgrades. None of these expenses individually looks catastrophic, which is exactly why they survive. The problem isn't spending money. The problem is spending without knowing what you're trading away. Every dollar has an opportunity cost, meaning choosing one use means giving up another. Spend $100 today, and you also give up whatever that money could potentially become. This doesn't mean you should never enjoy your money. It means your lifestyle should grow slower than your income whenever possible. That gap between earning and spending is where financial freedom begins. Call it your wealth-building gap. The larger that gap becomes, the more choices your money can eventually give you. That's what wealth really buys. Not just things, but options. Options to change jobs, handle emergencies, travel, invest, or simply breathe. And that is something a giant paycheck alone cannot guarantee. So what should Mike actually do with his next raise? First, automatically capture part of the raise before your lifestyle gets a chance to. Automation works because it removes the monthly temptation to spend everything you see. Second, build an emergency fund so unexpected expenses don't immediately become expensive debt. Third, attack high-interest debt because expensive interest can quietly reverse your financial progress. A credit card balance can make yesterday's purchases continue costing you tomorrow. Fourth, increase retirement contributions as your income grows when your overall budget allows. The goal isn't to become miserable. It's to make future you financially stronger. Fifth, review your largest expenses instead of obsessing over tiny purchases. Cutting one major recurring expense can matter more than eliminating dozens of small pleasures. Sixth, know your monthly number, how much actually comes in and where it goes. You don't need a complicated spreadsheet. You need a brutally honest picture. Separate needs, wants, and wealth-building money so every dollar has a purpose. Seventh, resist upgrading your lifestyle immediately after every promotion. Give your new income time to become wealth before turning it into new monthly obligations. And finally, remember that looking wealthy and being wealthy are completely different things. Looking wealthy means displaying expensive things. Being wealthy means owning assets and having financial flexibility. The difference may not be visible on Instagram, but your bank account definitely knows. That's why your financial goal shouldn't simply be earning more. It should be keeping more, investing wisely, and gradually buying back your time. Because the ultimate purpose of money isn't collecting dollars forever. It's creating enough security and freedom to decide how you want to live. And you don't need to be a millionaire to start building that freedom. You need a gap between what you earn and what you spend. Then you need the patience to let that gap compound over time. That's how a salary eventually becomes something more powerful than a paycheck. It becomes assets, choices, security, and eventually control over your own time. So if you're earning $100,000 and still feel behind, don't automatically blame your income. Look at the gap, control the lifestyle, protect your savings, and give your money time to grow. Because being rich isn't earning more money. It's keeping enough money working for the life you actually want.